Alright lads, and welcome to my World of Warcraft PvP add-on guide. Now the first part of this video, I'm basically going to go through the right way to create a clean and organised PvP interface. There are certain things in the PvP environment that you need to keep an eye on and to track, and there's a certain way to do that and to make it so your UI is basically extremely useful to you, and you know you're going to get the kills in arena and all that kind of thing. And also, the second part of this video, basically going to go through a load of PvP add-ons which are completely mandatory to download. And I'll explain a little bit about what they do and how to configure them. As you guys know, I use an interface overhaul add-on, but for this video I've basically disabled it and made like a fake UI with Bartender and stuff, so ignore what's actually going on in my bars, because obviously there's pasted hailstorm everywhere, just ignore that. You may have seen my raiding interface guide, which I basically go through how to create a really organised UI. As you can see, my play frames, they're down at the bottom for a specific reason. Basically, in this game, you need to look at your action bars for when your abilities are available, and you need to look at your enemy's health. It's as simple as that. So you don't want them to be too far apart. You don't want to be looking at the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen in between, because it's just like, it's a strain on the eyes, and it's just inefficient. So you should always have your play frames at the bottom of the screen. That's what I'd recommend anyway. You don't have to. But the best add-on for this is going to be MoveAnything, because you can just move everything around like this. And you can also increase the size, so you can have your action frame a little bit bigger if you like. And as you can see, I have a target down there as well. Another great add-on for this will be Bartender. Type /BT to bring it up, and basically you have your own action bars and you can move them around. I have them kind of like at the bottom of the screen. You can also have like a load of other bars enabled, but just change the alpha down. So stuff you don't really need to look at, you can actually take it down. Like you could basically just have one bar with all your cooldowns on, because you don't really need to see when everything's available, like Obliterate for instance. So yeah, definitely a great add-on, because you can have a load. You can have like 50 spells in the background and you don't have to see them, because you can just turn down the alpha. And obviously I've got the micro bar moved and the bag bar moved and the map moved, all at the bottom of the screen, so that the screen is nice and empty, and you know it can be full of, you know, enemy players. I can see what the enemy players are and all that kind of thing. Another great add-on I'd recommend is Quartz. Now Quartz is basically a custom cast bar. So what you have here, what is very important to very clearly kind of track your focus targets cast bar and your targets cast bar. So what I would recommend is to have them in front like this. Normally I have them in front of my player like that, and then I might have the focus over here, but sometimes I just have the focus a little smaller or a little lower or a little higher, right in front of me, right in front of my face, you know, so I can very clearly see when someone's casting to steal that cast or to interrupt that cast. As a Death Knight, obviously you don't cast a lot, so you want your cast, you can make your cast bar really small and get it out of the way. Another great interface add-on would be SArena alongside Diminishing Returns. What this effectively does is basically an alternative to the default frames. It's a bit better than Gladius. Gladius is a bit, you know, it's just a load of crap that you don't need there. It's kind of irritating. Basically it shows you the frame, very clearly shows a cast bar and when they've used a trinket, and then with the Diminishing Return add-on, you can also see Diminishing Returns going off to the left of the frame, as you can see here, and it's definitely a much more sophisticated way to have your arena frames. Another great add-on is Tidy Plates. As you can see, all these training dummies, rather than the default frames, Tidy Plates is just a better alternative, and it looks just a bit more, I guess, organised and beautiful. Now let's get into the grit of a guide. I'm going to go through a load of PvP add-ons which are basically mandatory to download if you want to improve your performance in PvP. The first one is an add-on called LoseControl. What it does is it tracks crowd control on literally everything. As you can see, I've just unlocked it, and the best way to do it is to basically put it over the frame. So I'm going to unlock it again, and as you can see, you can put it over your target, so it kind of like integrates with it. Or what you it's really helpful to have it on the focus as well, like that. What it basically does is say you basically say you're playing with a hunter, you know, you see trap on a target on the focus, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to stun now. It basically prevents you from overlapping your crowd control, because you can see precisely when people are crowd controlled. You're not going to crowd control when someone's crowd controlled. You're going to wait until it falls off and then chain it up. It basically helps you do CC chains, but you can see it on your target, on your focus, on your arena frames, and you can also see it on your party frames. So you can see when your healer CC'd, so you know when to pop your cooldowns. Obviously, communication kind of like helps with that. But LoseControl is just a little bit more helpful because you can't communicate everything all at the same time, otherwise your voice would just like be obliterated. So yeah, it's definitely a great add-on to chain CC and keep a track of crowd control overall in an arena game. Another great add-on is Juked, or you may want to opt for the Omnibar. But Juked just shows a bit more information. Actually, in fact, Omnibar shows basically the same thing. Okay, but as you can see on the interface here, it basically tracks enemy spell locks, but it will also track crowd control or defensive cooldown. So it basically tracks everything you need to know about the enemy team. Say for instance, if you can see that a mage doesn't have an ice block, then you're going to go deep. If you can see that a Death Knight doesn't have mind freeze, then you can free cast. It basically helps you a lot. It helps you out a lot. Another great add-on I'd recommend is GladiatorLosSA. What it does is basically reports when certain things happen. Say somebody pops a cooldown or pops a defensive cooldown or a piece of crowd control on the enemy team or your team. It basically, a voice will occur and it will tell you like ice block. It will do that kind of thing. And that's basically what it does. It's very, very helpful because it kind of allows you to take advantage of more than one sense, if you know what I mean. So you can actually make use of your ears in this game, you know, to your advantage. Another great add-on would be Battleground Targets, definitely mandatory for rated battlegrounds. As you can see, it shows you enemy target spec, all that kind of thing, and how many people are targeting each target. It's basically mandatory if you're a target caller as well. It just makes it a lot easier to target around. Say you need a crowd control healer, instead of like trying to find the healer on the map, you know, in front of you on the screen, you can just target here, cash a crowd control, and jobs are good. Another great add-on is capping battleground timers. Now, as you can see, it shows precisely when a base, from the point that it was capped, that it will become controlled, and also when people are going to win. So as you can see, like in a certain amount of time, the alliance is going to win if things stay as they are, or perhaps if Horde cap a few bases, it's how long Horde is going to win. And it also shows you the score that the ending score is going to be, which is also very useful for like Silver Shard mines and stuff like that. It'll also show queue timers. As you can see, there's a Torbarad timer there, which I really need to get rid of because it's annoying me. Yeah, so it's definitely an add-on quite mandatory for rated battlegrounds. A really great add-on I'd recommend for those people who do a bit of world PvP, or you go out into the world a lot to farm rep, to farm ores, to whatever you're farming. The great add-on to get is Spy. What it does is basically self-explanatory. A little frame will appear when an enemy player is close by. A frame is just here, and basically you'll be able to click and precisely see where that player is. And it'll give you a little notification and a sound. So you're just there fishing, like semi-AFK, and it'll give you a little notification of when somebody's close by and trying to gank you. It's definitely useful for those people who go out into the world to do stuff. Anyway, that's it for me, lads. If you're new to my channel, I do class, gold, and general WoW guides. I do WoW lore and lore for other games and films, comedy and dramatic machinima, PvP montages and tutorials, critical discussions on gaming, and a lot of other crazy ideas, so be a lad and give me a sub. My name is the Meta Goblin. Until my next video, ciao!